The water suddenly shuddered, as if something beneath it had turned in its sleep. Mud lifted in a slow, dark bloom. The baby elephant froze, one small foot half raised, unsure whether to step forward or run back. Its mother stopped breathing for a moment. The air felt tight, stretched thin like skin before a tear. Somewhere nearby, a bird that had been calling all morning fell silent, and the savanna seemed to lean inward, watching. Then the world rewound. Just hours earlier, the land had woken gently under a pale gold sunrise. Light spilled across the open savanna, touching the tall grass until it glowed like dry fire. A small herd of elephants moved together through the morning haze, their massive shapes softened by dust and distance. Each step they took stirred the red earth, and the dust clung to their legs the way memories cling to old bones. This was a land they knew well, every bend of grass, every thorn tree, every scent carried on the wind. At the center of the herd walked the baby elephant. It was new to the world, still learning how to balance its heavy head and swinging trunk. Its ears flapped without meaning, more play than purpose, and it stopped often to explore things that did not matter: stones, insects, a crooked stick half buried in the soil. The baby did not know hunger yet, or fear. It only knew the warmth of the body beside it, the deep comfort of its mother's shadow stretching across the ground. The mother elephant walked slowly, her steps careful and wide. She placed herself between the baby and the open land without thinking about it. This was instinct, old as the earth beneath her feet. Her skin was rough and lined, marked by seasons of drought and rain, by long journeys and longer nights. She listened as she walked, not just with her ears, but with her whole body. The ground spoke through her feet. The wind spoke through her skin. Around them, the savanna breathed. Cicadas hummed in steady waves, their sound rising and falling like the land itself. Acacia trees swayed gently, their thin leaves whispering to one another. Far off, something moved through the grass, maybe antelope, maybe nothing at all. Life passed here every day, quiet and unnoticed. The herd was heading toward a waterhole, one that had grown smaller with each passing week. The dry season had been long, and the rains had not yet returned. From a distance, the water looked calm, a dull mirror lying in a wide bowl of cracked mud. Dragonflies hovered above it, their wings flashing blue and green in the early light. To the baby elephant, the water was magic. It tugged at the baby's attention, pulling it forward with the promise of coolness and play. The baby let out a soft sound and quickened its steps. Its trunk reached ahead, waving through the air, tasting new smells. Wet earth, old leaves, something else, something heavy and sharp, but the baby did not understand it. The mother felt it, though. A faint warning brushed her senses, so light it could have been nothing at all. As they neared the waterhole, the sounds of the morning changed. The cicadas thinned. The grass near the edge lay pressed flat, as if something large had rested there for a long time. The mud was disturbed, marked by wide trails that did not belong to hooves. The birds that usually gathered near water were gone. Even the dragonflies stayed higher than usual, circling without landing. The mother slowed. Her head lifted, and her ears spread wide. She tasted the air with her trunk, drawing in deep, careful breaths. The smell of the water was wrong. Beneath the familiar scent of mud and plants was something older, colder, a smell that did not move, that waited. She rumbled softly. A low sound felt more than heard. The herd responded at once, drawing closer, their bodies forming a loose wall around the baby. But the baby, curious and unafraid, stepped forward anyway. The mud near the edge looked smooth and inviting. A thin line of water crept outward, shining in the sun. The mother reached out with her trunk, brushing the baby's side, guiding it back toward her. The baby paused, confused, then leaned into the touch. For a moment, everything was still. Wind slid through the grass. The sun climbed higher. Then the ground near the water seemed to breathe. A slow ripple passed across the surface, barely noticeable, like the movement of a dream. The mother's heart pounded once hard. She froze, one foot pressed into the mud. Her body remembered stories older than thought, of hidden danger, of water that bites back. She did not move. The baby shifted again, impatient now, tugging free of her trunk. Its foot sank into the soft ground with a wet sound. Mud closed around its toes, cool and strange. The baby made a small sound of surprise, half laugh, half question. That was when the water truly moved. But not yet. The mother stepped forward quickly, placing herself closer to the baby, her shadow covering its small body. She lowered her head and rumbled again, louder this time. The herd tightened, the air thick with tension. Still, nothing broke the surface. The water lay quiet, almost peaceful, as if it had always been that way. The baby leaned forward, trunk dipping toward the water. A dragonfly skimmed past its face. The world, to the baby, was still kind. The mother stood rigid, every muscle awake. She felt the earth holding its breath beneath her feet. Somewhere deep below the water, something waited. She did not know what shape it would take, only that it was there, and that it was watching the smallest life among them. The sun climbed higher. The light grew sharper. Time stretched thin, and then, without warning, the water shuddered again. This time not like sleep, but like waking. The water burst open with a sound like tearing cloth. One moment it was still, dark and quiet, and the next it rose in a violent rush of mud and muscle. A thick, scale body surged from beneath the surface, cold and fast, wrapping around the baby elephant's leg before the baby could even understand what was happening. The world exploded into noise. Mud flew into the air. Water splashed in every direction. The baby cried out, a sharp, frightened sound that cut through the morning. The Savanna's calm shattered. The baby stumbled, its small body thrown off balance as the snake's coils tightened. The grip was not cruel or angry. It was ancient and certain, driven by hunger and instinct older than memory. The baby tried to pull back, but its leg would not move. Each step sank deeper into the mud, and panic spread through its body like fire. The herd reacted at once. Great shapes spun and charged. Trumpets ripped through the air, loud and broken with fear. Dust rose in thick clouds as the elephants scattered and regrouped, unsure where to strike. The ground shook beneath their feet. Birds burst from the trees, screaming as they fled. The mother did not hesitate. She lunged forward with a roar that came from deep inside her chest, a sound full of fury and terror. Her feet slammed into the earth, each step heavy enough to shake the waterhole. She lowered her head and rushed toward the writhing mass of mud, scale, and fear where her baby struggled. The snake did not release. It shifted its weight, sliding deeper into the water, using the pull of the earth itself. Its body tightened, slow and powerful, drawing the baby closer to the edge. The water darkened as mud swirled around them, hiding the snake's full length. Only the thick coils around the baby's leg were clear, shining wet in the sun. The baby cried again, its trunk flailing uselessly in the air. It tried to lean toward its mother, but the snake's grip stole its balance. The ground gave way beneath its feet. Fear filled its eyes, wide and shining, searching for something solid. The mother reached the edge of the water and struck with her trunk, swinging hard at the coils. The impact sent ripples across the surface, but the snake held fast. She stomped, her massive foot crashing down inches from the baby, sending shockwaves through the mud. Still, the coils did not loosen. The snake hissed a low, rough sound and pulled again. Time seemed to break apart. There was only sound and movement, trumpets, splashing water, the wet slap of coils against skin. The air smelled of churned mud and fear. The sun felt too bright, too sharp, as if watching without mercy. The baby's cries grew thinner, shorter, each breath harder than the last. The mother struck again, harder this time, her trunk wrapping briefly around the snake's body. The scales were cold and unyielding. She could feel the strength beneath them, a strength that did not panic, that did not rush. This was a hunter that had waited a long time for this moment. The snake used the water like a shield, slipping lower, anchoring itself in the mud. The more the mother pushed, the deeper the snake pulled. Every move of force seemed to help it. The mother froze. just for a heartbeat. Her foot hovered above the ground. Her trunk paused in midair. Her breath came fast and heavy. She could feel the danger in her own strength now. One wrong move, one step too close, and the baby could be dragged under completely. The water was deep enough to hide anything, strong enough to swallow. The herd circled, their calls frantic and confused. They wanted to help, but there was no clear way. The enemy was not on land. It was part of the water now. The baby slipped lower. Mud reached its chest. Its cries broke into soft, frightened sounds, each one weaker than the last. Its trunk brushed the surface of the water, then dipped beneath it. The baby struggled, but fear had taken over, stealing its strength. Something changed in the mother then. The rage that had driven her charge faded, replaced by something quieter and deeper. She stopped attacking. She stopped shouting. Her body stilled, though her heart thundered inside her chest. She stepped into the water. The herd cried out as she did, their alarm sharp and loud. Every instinct said this was wrong. Elephants avoided deep water when danger hid beneath it. But the mother did not turn back. She lowered herself carefully, slowly, placing her feet with care, testing the ground beneath her weight. The snake sensed the shift. Its coils tightened again, uncertain now. The water rippled as it adjusted, unsure whether to pull or retreat. The mother moved closer, not with force, but with purpose. She placed her body between the baby and the open water, blocking the snake's path. Her massive legs pressed into the mud, firm and steady. She lowered her chest, creating a wall of living flesh and bone. The baby felt the change before it understood it. The pressure around its leg eased, just a little. The mother's side brushed against its body, warm and solid. Her trunk reached out, curling gently around the baby's back, holding it close without pulling. She did not fight the snake anymore. She waited. The water grew still again, as if unsure what to do next. The snake's coils shifted, testing. The mother did not react. She stayed calm, her breathing slow and deep, her body heavy with patience. She used her weight, her balance, the shape of her body to limit the snake's movement. Minutes passed like hours. Slowly, the snake began to loosen its grip, not all at once, but inch by inch. The ancient hunter sensed that this prey was no longer easy, that the risk had grown too great. Hunger weighed against danger, and danger began to win. One coil slipped free, then another. The baby gasped, drawing a sharp breath as its leg came loose. Mud slid away from its skin. The snake withdrew, its body melting back into the water, leaving only ripples behind. In seconds, it was gone, swallowed by reeds and shadow. The mother did not move until the water was empty again. Then she lifted the baby gently, guiding it back on its solid ground. The baby collapsed against her leg, shaking, its breath uneven but alive. The herd closed in around them, forming a wide, silent circle. Dust settled. The water hole lay still once more. The mother stood over her child, her shadow covering the small, trembling body. She touched the baby's head with her trunk, soft and steady. The Savanna exhaled, and in the quiet that followed, the lesson lingered. Sometimes strength is not in the strike, but in the choice to stop, to wait, and to protect without rage. The mother stood in the water, her legs planted deep in the mud, her breath slow and steady even as her heart raced. The baby was still caught, one leg wrapped tight, its small body trembling with fear. The snake's coils were thick and heavy, slick with water, holding on through habit more than hunger now. Everything felt paused, as if the Savanna itself had stopped to watch what the mother would do next. She did not scream. She did not strike again. Instead, she lowered herself. Her massive body sank slowly, carefully, until the water reached her chest. The movement was calm, almost gentle, and it surprised the snake. Predators expect noise and struggle. They understand panic. Stillness, however, speaks a different language. The mother placed her weight just right, shifting the mud beneath her feet, changing the ground the snake depended on. The baby felt the change first. The tight pull around its legs softened just a little. The mother's side pressed against its small body, warm and solid. Her skin was rough, but the touch was careful. She did not pull the baby free. She held it close, shielding it with her own size, her own life. The snake paused. Its head remained hidden beneath the water, but its body stilled. Ancient instincts stirred inside it, older than fear, older than hunger. This was no longer quick strike. The prey was protected now, wrapped in something larger and heavier than itself. The snake tested the coils, tightening once, then easing again, unsure. The mother waited. She shifted her position by inches, using her body like a wall. Her legs blocked the snake's path back toward deep water. Her chest pressed low, cutting off space. She did not trap the snake. She simply made the struggle no longer worth the risk. The water rippled softly around them. Sunlight broke through the surface, flashing in thin lines across the mother's skin. The dust in the air began to settle. The herd, which had been calling out in panic moments before, grew quiet. They watched from the edge, their great heads lowered, their ears wide, sensing that this moment was fragile. The baby's breathing came fast and shallow. Its trunk curled weakly against the mother's side. It did not cry now. It listened. The warmth of its mother's body told it to stay still, to trust. Slowly, the snake began to let go. One coil loosened, slipping from the baby's leg and sliding into the water. The movement was careful, almost cautious, as if the snake feared waking something dangerous. The mother did not move. Her eyes stayed focused, her breath even. She held the baby closer, supporting its weight as the mud released its grip. Another coil slid free. The baby gasped, drawing in a deep, shaking breath. Its leg trembled, stiff and sore, but it was free. The snake pulled the rest of its body away, retreating without sound. In seconds, the ancient hunter melted back into the reeds, leaving only faint ripples behind, like a memory fading. The waterhole grew still again. For a long moment, no one moved. Then the mother lifted her head and stepped back onto dry ground. Mud clung to her legs, heavy and dark. She guided the baby forward with her trunk, steady and slow. The baby stumbled once, then leaned fully into her, pressing its small body against her chest. The herd closed in. They formed a wide circle around the mother and baby, their bodies creating a living wall. No one touched. No one called out. They simply stood together, quiet and watchful, honoring the moment that had passed. The baby shook, its ears drooping, its legs weak beneath it. The mother lowered her head and touched the baby's face with her trunk, tracing the curve of its cheek, the edge of its eye. The touch was soft, full of care. The baby lifted its trunk in response, brushing against her skin. The sun climbed higher, warming the land. Light spilled across the waterhole, turning the surface into gold. The cicadas began their song again, slow at first, then louder. Somewhere nearby, a bird called, testing the air. Life returned. The herd did not leave right away. They waited until the baby's breathing steadied, until its shaking eased. Only then did they begin to move, guiding the mother and calf away from the water's edge, back toward open ground where the grass was high and the earth was firm. The mother walked last, her head turned slightly toward the waterhole. She listened, even now, for any sign of movement. But there was nothing. The danger had passed, at least for this day. As they moved on, the waterhole reflected their shapes, large and small, side by side. The image wavered with each step, then smoothed again. It held the quiet truth of what had happened here. Strength had not won this moment. Fury had not saved the baby. It was patience, stillness, a choice to protect without destroying. In a world where power often rules, the mother had shown another way, one that allowed both hunter and hunted to live. The baby leaned against her as they walked, its steps slow but steady. The mother's shadow stretched long across the savanna, covering her child as the day grew brighter. Behind them, the water lay calm once more, as if nothing had happened at all. But the land remembered, and so did they.